Gunbreaker remains very simple, but we shall see when Endwalker comes out. Again, these are just my initial impressions, man. I could be completely fucking wrong on some of this shit. First thing you'll notice is these charges over here, man. There's 3 cartridges. So, what's that? Royal Guard. And then this is a Bloodfest, which sucks 3 cartridges. That's Lightning Shot into Rough Divide. That's Heavy Swing, whatever. Brutal Shell. All the ones are called Heavy Swing. Heavy Swing into Brutal Shell. Now, this right here is the ammo combo. This takes an ammo, so this is Gnashing Fang. And then this is still Continuation. Savage Claw, whatever. Wicked Talon, all that shit. Okay. Alright, so the ammo combo remains the same. Now this is a solid barrel. The solid barrel still gives you a combo. That's Blasting Zone into probably a upgraded version of Heart of Stone. It might not be Heart of Stone. It might be something else. We don't know, but it's a defensive. This is Demon Slice. Or no, I'm sorry. This was the AoE, the fucking cartridge spender because it took a cartridge. Fated Circle. This is Demon Slice. Into Demon Slaughter, into Bow Shock. Okay, now this is Burst Strike. Now after Burst Strike, they mention you're going to be able to do a continuation. That's the continuation. So it goes Burst Strike into continuation. Now, the reason why this is bad, this has potential to make it more clunky. One of the things about Gunbreaker that is really fucking annoying is when you have to move the boss or when you have to double weave cooldowns because your dumbass continuation is making it difficult. Basically, by putting continuation on Burst Strike, you have extended your ammo combo by 1 GCD, more or less, because it locks you out of a double weave. I'm going to assume that if you use Burst Strike and then another ability, you lose your continuation, because that's how it works on like Gnashing Fang and shit. Also, you are no longer going to be able to do Gnashing Fang plus then Burst Strike and then go back into your Gnashing Fang combo and double weave during Burst Strike. They also didn't use Sonic Break either. We don't know if Sonic Break is in the game. So I'm going to put you in a situation. Let's say you have to move the boss and use a cooldown. Like for the raid. Like let's say you're moving Gaia. So you're using Gnashing Fang. Then you have to use Heart of Light and continuation, but you need to double weave a cooldown. What you can do now is instead of doing Wicked Talon, you can do either Sonic Break or Burst Strike, and you can double weave 2 CDs because Burst Strike doesn't have continuation. But now you cannot do that. Now you have to single weave. So if you go from Gnashing Fang into Burst Strike, I'm going to assume that you have to use that continuation or else you lose it. So the fact that they put continuation on Burst Strike has a potential to make it more clunky. Now the remedy to this is this extra cartridge. So I'm gonna also assume, then this might be wrong, that instead of using Burst Strike, you could use the, we'll just call it Burst Strike 2. You can use Burst Strike 2 because Burst Strike 2 takes 2 cartridges. We'll get to Burst Strike 2 in a second, but because Burst Strike 2 doesn't have a continuation, you could use Burst Strike 2 and double weave cooldowns. So hopefully that's the case. We're gonna just go with you have to use continuation after the GCD. The rule of continuation is that once you use an ability that procs continuation, you have to use continuation during that GCD window or you lose it. So I'm going to assume the same thing is for Burst Strike. And I believe it's because of like lore, because you don't want to mix up the animations and shit, right? So you don't want to do like a Gnashing Fang, but then like a Burst Strike continuation because it'll look weird. I think that this has a potential to make the job clunky. However, it is also possible that the job will remain as it is as far as weaving in defensives. The reason why I think that is because this ability right here, which we will look at right now, that one right there, which I assume is AoE, but then again Blasting Zone also looks AoE, but this ability is the final ability from Gunbreaker and it takes 2 cartridges. We will look at these again. So you have three cartridges here. Bow Shock into Burst Strike. That's Burst Strike, takes 1 cartridge. Then this is the continuation of Burst Strike. And then this is the AoE, or sorry, this is the Super Burst Strike 2. Now I'm going to assume the Burst Strike 2 doesn't have continuation. So if that's the case, then it's fine. The opener for Gunbreaker will actually remain very similar. The No Mercy window for Gunbreaker will also remain very similar. So let's say that Sonic Break is not in the game anymore, then the Burst Strike 2 will just simply take the place of Sonic Break. If Sonic Break is in the game, then the 9 GCDs that you will get, Gnashing Fang combo, Sonic Break, Burst Strike 2. Then you get a solid barrel, right? Yeah, something like that. And then on your Bloodfest No Mercy windows, you would get, instead of 4 Burst Strikes, you would get 3 Burst Strikes and a Burst Strike 2. That would be different. We'll watch the trailer one more time. I think that Gunbreaker is actually pretty simple. So that's Bloodfest, Lightning Shot, Rough Divide, Heavy Swing, Brutal Shell, Gnashing Fang, continuation, Wicked Savage Claw, continuation, Wicked Talon, continuation, Solid Barrel, extra cartridge here for Solid Barrel. Solid Barrel still gives you an extra cartridge. Blasting Zone, we'll just call that Heart of Stone. This is Fated Circle, takes 1 cartridge still. This is Demon Slice, Demon Slaughter still gives you a cartridge. This is going to be Bow Shock into Burst Strike, and then this is going to be a continuation from Burst Strike. And then this is going to be Burst Strike 2. And Burst Strike 2 takes 2 charges. Basically, the 3 charges kind of doesn't matter in the terms of a No Mercy window, assuming No Mercy is the same. Burst Strike 2 might be on a 60-second timer. Do I think 6.X Gunbreaker can reach 50 actions? I have no idea, man. I don't know. I do know that they get an extra continuation. So you're locked into an extra off GCD on a Burst Strike. It can be 90. Bloodfest can still be 90. They said that not all the skills are going to share the same cooldown. It could still be 90 and be fine. As far as flow of how Gunbreaker works, it would be almost exactly the same. 1 button combo thing. So basically, instead of key binding Gnashing Fang, Savage Claw, and Wicked Talon, it's now just all in 1 button. When you do Gnashing Fang, the Gnashing Fang turns into Savage Claw. The Savage Claw will turn into Wicked Talon. So yeah, that's a good thing too. Yeah, like Ley Lines is still 90. I would assume Bloodfest is still 90. Okay, so with all that being said about Gunbreaker, again, creativity, I think on Gunbreaker is a little higher than Dark Knight and Warrior. Just a little higher. Not as high as I'd want, but it's good. It's safe. Yeah, so we can watch it one more time. Let's see. Bloodfest, Lightning Shot, Rough Divide, Heavy Swing, Brutal Shell, Gnashing Fang, continuation, Savage Claw, continuation, Wicked Talon, continuation, Solid Barrel, gives you a cartridge, Blasting Zone, Heart of Stone, Fated Circle, Demon Slice into Demon Slaughter, gives you a cartridge, Bow Shock, Burst Strike into continuation, and then Burst Strike 2. I find it weird that they showed Bow Shock but not Sonic Break. I feel like this Job Actions trailer was actually like not as good as it should have been. But yeah, anyway, Gunbreaker, you know, creativity looks a little better, looks a little higher.